Virgo, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, I love you so very much. Appreciate you. If you're brand new to the channel or just cross-watching for your particular sign, I'm JT. Like I always say, sometimes the major and minor arcana, they line up with our day-to-day grind. Sometimes they line up with particular events in our life. So don't force anything. It's just a general reading. Uh, just use your intuition, okay? And do keep in mind, Virgo, I always put your haiku poems right before your reading, okay? With that being said, we're going to shuffle up, talk about the categories. Virgo, I wish for you in this reading some kind of clarity, some kind of sign, some kind of a knowing that you're on the right path. I wish for you the abundance that you wish for, that you're trying to manifest, the love life, the sexual life, the fantasy life, whatever that means for you, money, opportunity, health, wealth, fame, fortune, all of that. We're going to talk about that in this reading, okay? We're going to look at your current energy, crossing challenge. We're going to take a look at the foundation, recent past. We're going to look at the possibilities, the near future, self, the environment, hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, and the outcome and the direction. All right, Virgo, I'm going to pull 4 clarifying cards. We're going to talk about the crossing challenge clarifying card. We'll look at the recent past, the near future, and the outcome and direction clarifying cards. Virgo, while I'm taking a look at this, here are your brand new poems from Haiku Corner, and I'll be right back. Okay, Virgo, we are starting off your reading with the Moon card. Okay, what it tells me, right off the bat, we could be dealing with a Pisces energy. Don't have to be, but we could be. But I feel like you're on high alert right now. Your intuition is just banging, right? So what I'm getting is I feel like that you are kind of holding on to maybe a situation or making a decision about um, one, a relationship, and another side of that could be talking about some finances here. Anyway, I'll give you the down low and we'll talk about this. If you're willing, I'm here. All right, like I said, we got this moon card here. All right, and what it's telling me is that you're sensing somebody maybe watching you still. Maybe, like I said, this could be somebody from the recent past, but we could be talking about like a masculine energy, kind of hiding the feelings. I don't know, somebody who's a little sarcastic or, hey, I'm busy. I don't know, but the feminine energy here is kind of like I'm pulling back to test to see if maybe you'll still chase. And the reason I'm saying that is I'll talk about that, but I just kind of got that feeling like here, it's like you catch a shift in maybe their texting patterns. They have like a shorter reply or something, maybe longer gap in between the time span there. But I don't know, you feel like jealousy spike when you see who they're following or who they like online. Maybe you dream about them, right? The moon card represents that, so it's like um, maybe something about it feels a little too real to kind of ignore here, right? Um, like I said, maybe you feel pulled toward someone that you're not even talking to yet. Okay, some of you, I feel like this may be the case. Maybe you're like wondering whether or not I should keep on, entertaining this thing. Is this an illusion? Is this something that's going to be, come to fruition? What's the deal here? But it's like you sense a secret, you know what I mean? Not malicious or anything like that, but it's like it's emotional, so you're kind of like trying to read between the lines more accurately here, okay? You know, your intuition is your GPS, right? This year. So I feel like maybe you should definitely learn to trust this energy, okay? Um, like I said, we're talking about this Four of Cups as your challenge card, and then I pulled a clarifying card as well. So, and that's why I'm trying to say to you, it just right, take it with a grain of glitter here. Now, I'm going to be soft, all right, but what I'm trying to get at is this is like the emotional stagnation here. Okay, someone who wants you is maybe not stepping forward, right? And so that kind of tells me that's why you're on this high alert, right? You're on this high alert state, and your clarifying card. You got the Four of Cups here. Um, I don't know. They're still checking on your profile. Maybe they're comparing you to like an ex or somebody they're not over. This is like, they fear rejection more than maybe they want the connection right now. I'm not sure, but and don't take it like this all the way. It's just it does have a turning event here, but this is I'm replaying maybe your last conversation, in their head, and they kind of maybe want you to reach out first again, okay? Or they're jealous and they pretend they're not. You know, they're scared maybe that you might choose somebody else more confident, right? Kind of like that emotional constipation here, right? It's feelings with no action, and it's backed up by this Four of Pentacles here, and that's kind of why I got the feeling that maybe you might be holding on, to that kind of I don't know, maybe you might feel a little bit of a rejection here, but I'm not sure. It's kind of like waiting for a perfect moment that never comes, terrified of losing control. But that's what that Four of Pentacles kind of represents. Still holding on, whether that's you or whether that's them. I'm not quite sure at this point, but their fear is the blockage here, and it has nothing to do with your worth or your value. All right, we're going to move on into this foundation, and we've got the Death card. All right, it isn't a warning here; it's clarity. I'm going to guide you right through this. It's like this major cycle ended. Whether this was a breakup or a friendship or a shift or something like that. A personal awakening. I feel like you're not who you were like last year, and that's the whole point. It's moving on. It's not, you're not chasing the person anymore. Maybe who gave the breadcrumbs, that type of deal. Some of you, you could have cut off a situationship that was just kind of draining you. This could talk about maybe like outgrowing a job, that didn't value you or something like that. But I feel like this is the point where somebody just realized, hey, I ain't settling anymore. This is I'm not going to explain myself to the people, who don't listen. So it's all about shedding like old, the coping patterns or, I'm craving depth, not chaos, that kind of shit, right? It's stepping into your power, becoming the version of yourself, I don't know, for some of you, you may be fantasizing about right now. Like I said, we do have that moon in there. And so there is a possibility that you're just trying to manifest a new situation. So the neutral side of this Death card is kind of revealing itself to you. It's the year that you're going to stop repeating cycles here. Okay, we're going to talk about the recent past, and in the recent past we had this Two of Cups, which is again still kind of reminds me of maybe somebody had some kind of a spark. There was some kind of a resonance here, but I feel like maybe somebody may have pulled back their energy from you. Maybe they mirrored you perfectly, right, and then kind of disappeared. This could be that deep emotional conversation maybe that scared them or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe they felt the soul tie, and it caused like a panic, right? Um, they needed some space, perhaps to like process these feelings. Okay. Um, and like I said, I do kind of still pick up this holding pattern, and perhaps it's mirrored, like I said, on both of you. Perhaps it's like replaying like a kiss, or a moment that you both of you had shared. I'm not sure, but it's got comparing others to you in that energy. Okay, they're healing from maybe something that they never told you about, so they're waiting for that, that right time again, right, when to return. So but I feel like the connection was real, and the retreat, on their part or on your part, whatever, was kind of like based on fear. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about the possibilities here. And we got the strength card, another major arcana showing up saying, hey, this is all about self-control. This is really just, it's magnetic attraction. Someone sees you as very powerful, maybe, you know, um, intimidating, right? Irresistible, intimidating. But I feel like you're going to notice or recognize this person because they soften around you, even when like they're guarded, and maybe you can see that around their energy like that around others, right? They put on the mask around others, but when they're around you, you can feel that softening up, right? So I feel like they're just craving your approval more than they're willing to admit, right? They want to impress you with, hey, look how much I show up. I'm consistent, right? They're drawn to your confidence. The strength card is all about confidence. We could be talking about Leo here as well. We don't have to be, but Leo may be in your energy here. But this is all about, I imagine a future with you. They're definitely sexually attracted to you, but they're trying to be respectful. It's got, I want to earn your trust, and I'm ready to step up, and I know you're worth the effort here, but I don't want to come off too strong, right? The the strength card is all about strength, right? So in the masculine energy there, it's kind of like I don't know, maybe this is all about stepping into that relationship dynamic here where maybe you might be the emotional anchor here. And so I don't know, just take what fits. But we're talking about now this near future here. Okay, we got this 6 of Pentacles. Um, we're clarified by the Hermit card with the 6 of Pentacles too, and so this kind of tells me that there may be some kind of a timing in around 3 to 6 weeks here. Okay, I know that's kind of a generic form here, but the cards they speak about that. Okay, this is all about effort. It's about time, But I feel like there's a period of introspection here, so that's why I'm giving that 3 to 6 time frame because the Hermit card, right, clarifying this 6 of Pentacles energy, which is saying, uh, this is about reciprocity. It's about the give and take, right? So that could look like, opening up about their fears, maybe they're asking to see you, the giving part, investing in the connection on your side, perhaps, or on theirs, but it's also the receiving, like, receive unexpected money, receiving a job offer that comes in or comes through, maybe a debt or something like that that's paid off. And so I feel like this energy right here is bringing kind of that balance again, all right? After maybe a little period of time here, okay? So like I said, we do have that Hermit, um, as a clarifying card for that one. So I feel like there's a little bit of time frame there. We're going to talk about the self now, and we've got this 9 of Cups, overindulgence of joy, if that's even possible. But I'm talking about, this is emotional satisfaction. This is all about your self worth. You're showing that quiet kind of a confidence, and we see that in that energy. That person stepping up and realizing, hey, um, I hope you're not attracting better options here, right? Um, I know you're not overgiving anymore. You're effing desirable. You are the strength, right? You're manifesting effortlessly here, right? You're not chasing, uh, closure. It's peace over chaos, trusting your intuition. We saw that with the Moon card, right? So it's kind of like this moment in time where for some of you it's feeling emotionally full here. Okay, it's becoming like that version of yourself that you once needed, right? And I feel like there's this period of time here that's coming that's like, yeah, I can do this, right? All right, we're going to talk about the environment, and we've got the 8 of Pentacles here. Um, this is focused on work. This is focused on skill, consistency. You know, someone around you is like watching your progress closely here in this card. We're talking about maybe a coworker here, somebody who's got like a crush on you, or someone admires your discipline act, right? You are motivated. For some of you, it could be like, if you're doing side hustles or you own your own business or something like that, or, you're just taking on like new clients, offered a project that kind of like boosts your income or something like that. But, it could also look as though it's like somebody is stalking in on your LinkedIn or some kind of a professional page, but this is definitely leveling up in your craft, whatever it is you're doing, whatever whatever you're known for, your talents or whatever it is, it's kind of like building that long term. Okay. It's like entering into that season of mastery here, you know? Um, yeah, good card. Good card. It's your work ethic here is definitely becoming like your superpower, right? All right, we're going to talk about the hopes, fears, wishes, and worries. Look, I'm going to rip the band-aid off here because I don't believe in just, catering into something here. We got to talk about this. This could be talking about like a major emotional conversation about to be had, all right? Some of you could be having like chill bumps at this time, this is you worry that maybe they're talking to someone else too. Maybe you fear of being replaced, and maybe it's about the guessing games here. You want clarity, right? And so in this, there's also that I don't want to repeat any more old patterns, Um, I'm in my glow up, my blow up. I'm feeling good. So I want to be chosen without fighting, right? I don't want to misread signals anymore. I want emotional exclusivity here. You're not an, you're not being too much here, you know, or not enough. You want peace, not drama. So I feel like your fear may be the conflict in this card. Your desire is certainty, right? And so we know that that's a beautiful place to be. Okay, we're going to talk about this outcome. Um, we got this King of Swords energy, okay, and we saw that with the Three of Cups, okay, and I feel like this is that late night moment of honesty, okay. Um, we're backed up with the clarifying cards of the Four of Swords. Okay, so we might be talking about some air signs here, like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could be dealing with that as well. We don't have to be, but we're also backed up with the Three of Cups. Okay, and so this tells me that there is about to be some serious clarity, a truth, some kind of definite emotional honesty here is about to take place, a reconciliation. This is celebration. This is a meaningful reunion. This is I tell you how I feel now. I'm admitting to you why I pulled back. This is I'm going to choose you with intention. And I feel like with that Four of Swords energy, we already saw that with the Hermit, right? They had to pull back. This is the time it takes for him to explain. I said him. It doesn't have to be gender specific here. It could be female as well. But I'm just saying, I pulled back because I needed to know the right words, the exact thing, what I'm going to say. Hey, I cut off all third parties. I'm going to communicate directly with you. I want to build trust here. I want a real relationship. We're seeing that with the Three of Cups, right? So these cards are all about consistency. It's all about the face to face time, right? It's all about this is bringing relief, okay? And the truth is finally coming out here. Virgo, it like I said, this is about balanced love. Somebody may have held back, and I feel like they're about to step forward with some honesty here. You're breaking old cycles, old patterns, and I feel like there's about to be this could talk about that reciprocity, especially in the money or finances here. And with you being in uh, that moon energy, right? That's the intuition, and I feel like that's going to be your guide. That's how your confidence is growing right now. Okay, so expect some confessions, some reconciliations, definitely financial breakthrough, and I feel like there's this. I don't know. It's just your year of truth. It's all about your self worth, and yeah, Virgo, good reading. I really, I'm stoked. It's cool. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you got something from it. I hope it was clarity. If it was, give it a thumbs up, would you? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscription button and make sure you turn your notifications on, okay? Anyway, I'll leave last week's reading right here if you want to check that out. Anyway, I love you. I respect you, Virgo, and I'll see you on the next reading, okay? All right. Bye-bye.